some great quality stuff. You're going to want to check him out, and facebook.com/HyperX community. So you want to learn how to enhance your experience through the Cloud Alpha or the Cloud Stinger S, the gaming headsets that they do. They have a lot of stuff that's compatible with the Switch as well. You've probably seen them in GameStops. Well, you might want to see it on your head sometime soon. Definitely check them out. Shoutouts to HyperX and Hero Live as well. So yeah, it's a really cool thing where you can watch synchronized YouTube's events, TNT, Twitch, and Pluto. If you remember SyncTube from back in the day, Hero Live kind of providing the same thing, just a little bit more of a stable infrastructure. So talking, laughing, cheering with your friends and fans. You want to do like you're on the couch together. We definitely missed that experience. So yeah, peak game on them. But right now we got to talk a little bit about DDD and Min Min.
I'm so glad that you brought this up because this is a deep knowledge. DDD, one of my favorite characters in this game. I think he's absolutely sick. I love Grayscale DDD. This skin is amazing too. So, mad respect to King Ant right off of the bat. Able to, that was a bit of an awkward interaction. The auto link angles of the F tilt not actually confirming into themselves. How is Peckham going to be able to land the answer? Is they're just going to really, really struggle because Min Min, definitely not the best buttons on her way down. Can only really just try to opt for, traditional air dodges or going for her stall and fall. And that Gordo, oh my god. It just put in so much work for King Ant right there.
That's the thing, though. Even though maybe you're not looking at the, even if you're not looking at, specific arms or whatever, you have the tools with which to knock back Gordo. Maybe they don't deploy the fastest, but you can still deal with it.
And
but you can't deal with that.
Out of the corner, yeah. Huge habit for players at any level just to want to jump out of the corner because people are going to be either jumping, rolling, or kind of staying in place sometimes. Able to get the nail into the up tilt, tries to space the F tilt, but overcompensates just a little bit. Was a little bit too generous with it. Wow, DDD is bulky. I can't believe he didn't die to that F smash.
Yeah, no, DDD is a rather thick lad, and of course the weight of that hammer probably helps him out just a little bit. I'm just saying, DDD might have been trying to slim down, but you still got that big hammer. So that's just keep in mind, muscle weighs more than fat. So King Ant trying to flex their muscle here, but they're going to be taken off stage. Surviving up to 179% is King Ant, and just goes to show not just the survivability of DDD, but you got to be able to control him as well in the defensive aerial movement of King Ant. Nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, and wow, King Ant is just running with this. That's going to be the lead grab. Goes for the down tilt immediately. This should be the stock. They go deep.gov, gets that forward. I've got to say, I love the way that King Ant gets caught wow, the armor just expired. So it was really, really nicely timed on Peckham's behalf. I've got to say, these landings from King Ant are really, really good. They're mixing up between either safely spacing a back hill or just going for like a B reverse inhale. And that is just catching Peckham every single time. King Ant is just like able to land for free as a result.
Yeah, and King Ant thus far been pretty effective. Peckham having to deal with this DDD hammer, and King Ant, that's the thing. They've been kind of able to control the pace of this whole thing, even if it's just through Gordo. Peckham has not really had much of an answer to it aside from just shielding and hoping that it doesn't hit them. You're going to have to counterplay at some point. Right now, you're at a full stock disadvantage, and you're kind of swinging at Invisible Swordsman if you're Peckham.
What a deflect. Oh my goodness, that just looked ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and tries to go for the up into the down air. I don't even know what you would call that, but yeah, like King Ant is just like mixing up the aerial movement so much. You see Peckham changing up the approach to it instead of running under the DDD and shielding, which is exactly what he is going to be looking for. You see Peckham just sort of like dashing back and respecting the space a little bit. Those F smashes not going to be able to kill quite yet. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was so smart. That was genius. That was genius. That was so smart. They were waiting for that. They were waiting for the button. They were waiting for you to hit them. They stuck Min Min and all of that hit lag. And DDD was just able to armor through like nothing was there. Just stuck in the end lag of that move. That was fantastic on King Ant's behalf. That was really, really good.
What else is there to say other than King Ant showing why they have taken, why they finished so consistently well in these brackets? Both of these competitors are actually doing quite well for themselves. just a month ago, a little over a month ago, they wound up King Ant wound up taking a Xeno Wi-Fi for
Wow.
themselves, pretty convincingly, beating some people that we know along the way, individuals like Null in Grand Finals and Sensei in Grands by a score of 3-0. That you do not see Sensei 3-0'd all that often. So something to be said about that. Peckham not doing too badly themselves, finishing third in the last Ultimate at Xanadu Online. So taking out individuals like WebJP, who again is Wi-Fi Warrior ranked, and that was a convincing 3-1 victory, only losing to Vendetta and 8-Bit Man. You're taking some quality losses, but right now you're having to deal with King Ant, who I don't know if this is just a bad matchup for Min Min in general, or if King Ant just has this thing read like a textbook. But either way, Peckham needs answers, and they need them fast.
So, I mean, like, the biggest thing that you really need to exploit is that, like, DDD, wow. I mean, as much as he can jump and fall on you, he cannot move from left to right in the air. He is so unbelievably slow in the air, and he's just like this big, slow target. And honestly, it's just like leaving him so vulnerable for so long. I think Peckham needs to do a bit of like, I think Peckham just needs to pull the trigger a little bit on calling out some of these jumps sometimes. You know, playing extremely grounded against DDD can be super dangerous. As soon as you start letting him land on you, that's where he starts to build his win condition.
Exactly, and a tenuous lead thus far for Peckham, and King Ant decides to take to the platform, just daring that ARMS character to try to jump for once in their lives, and they will take to the sky and try to follow up on that, but King Ant decides to go low and maybe getting a read on what Peckham is trying to do in order to take these stocks. So it's King Ant, perhaps an invitation to join them under the stage at some point, but we've seen how that ends, Dara.
Yeah. Oh gosh, not well. That is. King Ant right now is really mixing up what they are doing out of these jumps. Like as soon as they saw Peckham start to, hold shield again and just sort of stay in place and not really go through those dashes, that's when they're able to land again. So King Ant realized if they preemptively throw out the Gordo first while they jump, they'll be able to force them to stand still, and they'll be able to start going through their back airs and through their inhales, just as God intended. So right now, Peckham, that was really good, just sort of like whiff punish on these aerials. Again, like King DDD, no horizontal travel distance whatsoever. Peckham can just sort of like just watch and run away, and just wait for King Ant to overextend.
And maybe the answer in taking out DDD's Gordo lies in that up tilt. We did see that reflection there, but that's it makes you wonder.
Ooh,
is that the
hammer
quickest thing
hit
that you
into
have?
the Gordo. That was sick. Nice.
No,
Yes.
beautiful stuff, and King Ant's going to take the advantage on that. And I mean, what are you seeing from King Ant that's making them able to control the pace of this match so effectively?
The way that they're just able to jump and mix up what they are doing as they land. So right now they're just sort of cycling between different spacings of Gordo. They're cycling between going through inhale, they're cycling through going through back airs. And as a result, they've really conditioned Peckham to behave a certain way when they go for certain options. But that being said, Peckham, this time no respect whatsoever, just dashes back all the way, just charges those smash attacks, because what goes up must come down, and boy oh boy did DDD come down.
And came down hard. So as we're waiting again for Peckham to try to control this space a little bit more efficiently, you would think that Gordo maybe not moving the fastest in the world and is being able to get reflected. Peckham could just kind of punch through that, and maybe it might be time to utilize that, though King Ant's doing a decent job of staying in the air as well. So if it comes down to Peckham like starting to press buttons and swinging and missing, perhaps that's the other opening for King Ant to really open this thing up. But have to say, it's getting a lot closer. Peckham showing a lot of improvement here before they get caught by the Gordo as well in a defensive position now. And yeah,
really good choice to opt for that side B there. That was really smart. Just basically just a scale off King Ant. Had they not had that platform, that would have been the free edge guard for King Ant and certainly the stock. But Peckham very fortunate with the timing. Good choice to cover the landing there. And now they live to see another day. Gets the forwarder into the Gordo. I'm pretty sure the forwarder would have killed, but you know what? That looks really cool, and I am here for it.
No, you get yourself the clip, bro. That is on your compilation, King Ant. For real. as you are going to get your opponent down to a last stock situation, but
that's the jump call out.
That's
the jump
That's
call
how
out.
you use your jumps.
Absolutely. When you see somebody just big and, large and just like sort of floating there for such a long time, that's the kind of commitment I would like to see from Peckham, because they were so confident in that lead. But speaking of confident in leads, that's a min-min off stage. But King Ant just barely messes up on the spacing of that forward. That can really come back to bite them.
Sitting at 11%, you do have some room for error. However, if you're missing like that and getting grabbed by Peckham, that spells a world of hurt, and you're just getting tagged on that platform.
Setups?
Yeah, this could be where Peckham finds their area of opportunity. King Ant under the stage. Peckham decides not to play, going to utilize those extendable arms, of course. I don't think you're using the Joy-Con motion controls with this arms character. I think you're just kind of playing with the pad. But, nevertheless, going to be swinging. Catch these arms, says Peckham, and the back throw is going to get them in a bad situation. King Ant needs to recover. This could spell trouble.
But spell trouble, it does indeed. Tries to, if we go across the stage, it's just going to bounce through those platforms. So difficult to try to control your angle through something like that. Gets another forwarder. This should be the edge guard, and really good choice to go through the stall there. King Ant, a little bit too hasty to throw out the button, but the auto-link angles again on the F-tilt. Oh, that's so unfortunate. This has to be it. Yes, it is.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my goodness. Ever since King Ant missed that first forwarder off stage just barely, ever so slightly, that game just snowballed completely away from them. They were just barely able to bring it back home, but that was so close to going to Peckham. King Ant with the 2-0 over Peckham. That was really close. Really good edge guarding attempts. But that's just like a matter of spacing. And the inconsistency of Ultimate sometimes really comes back to get you. Keeps me up at night.
Yeah, certainly went to come back to get Peckham. That's an unfortunate way to go out. King Ant just finding their way around the min-min matchup, and that's a